Ever since the Twin Flames Universe docuseries came out, Jeff and Shaleia, the two cult leaders, have been desperately trying to save face. They love to claim that the allegations made were just made by their haters or people who want to destroy them, or that the things that we saw them say in the docuseries were just taken out of context. So I thought I would take this opportunity to watch their full-length videos, totally in context, because these are videos that they have posted themselves, and maybe we'll debunk a few things along the way. So I hope you're ready for this installment of Debunking the Delusion, Twin Flames Universe. Sit back, relax, and maybe open a window because it is time to let the fresh air in. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're brand new. My name is Erin and I am fascinated by all things cult, true crime, and unique spiritual practices. If you like stuff like this, please consider subscribing because I post about 2 videos a week, if not more, on one of these topics. Right now you're watching episode 2 of Debunking the Delusion. Now, typically I like to do a deep dive on a cult, and then in my follow-up video, watch and react to some of the wild things that that cult leader says. Now, I've featured Twin Flames Universe very extensively on this channel, but I've never sat and reacted to the actual videos of them sharing their philosophies. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to do just that. And don't worry, I have deep dives of new cults that you may or may not have ever heard of planned for this channel, so definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already. Now, before we jump in, I want to offer a disclaimer because I know many of my subscribers were in Twin Flames Universe or closely tied to Twin Flames Universe. So I just want to take a minute to share that I will be reacting to videos that you have probably watched exhaustively. So please, if you need to, because you might get triggered just hearing Jeff's voice or seeing Shaleia's face, please take care of yourself and go ahead and skip this video if you need to. I really appreciate your ongoing support, and I appreciate everyone who has supported me thus far. So, with all of that being said, let's jump right into this reaction. One of Jeff and Shaleia's favorite techniques to share is something called the mirror exercise. Anytime anyone in the group has any type of what they like to call an upset or something that bothers them or a red flag or a concern, they are encouraged to do something called the mirror exercise. Now, in this video, they talk about it as it pertains to your twin flame, but I have seen it also be used as a method of gaslighting. So if you have an upset within the group and you bring it up to Jeff, Shaleia, or one of the moderators or quote unquote inner circle of the group, you're basically told to do the mirror exercise until that thing that Jeff is doing or saying or that thing that Shaleia told you to do is no longer upsetting you. If you question anything the leaders are doing or sharing, you are told to do the mirror exercise because obviously, if you have a problem with them, your gurus, it must mean that there's a problem within yourself because it can never be the leaders or the gurus. So let's hear from their mouths, watching the full video, kept completely within context, what they say the mirror exercise is.
Hey, I'm Jeff.
I'm Shaleia.
And today we're going to talk about twin flame mirroring.
Ooh.
All that good stuff. Maybe you've heard or you know or you've experienced your twin flame mirroring for you. Well, one of the interesting things is that even if you're not in union but you know them, they can start mirroring for you immediately. Even if you haven't even met them, you can use your connection to them to mirror for you.
Right.
So what is mirroring?
How? And they're going to tell us how, okay? But I just find it so interesting that they say that this is like the method to find your twin flame. And if you have an upset, if you're frustrated that you haven't met them yet, you can use this connection you actually do have to your twin flame, because yes, it exists, and yes, it is harmonious, and yes, it is destined to be. You are actually two parts of the same soul, so you can tap into their energy and attract them deeper and deeper and deeper to you. And I'm like, just tell people to like go out and start meeting people. You're not going to manifest your twin flame by just sitting around mirror exercising yourself. You're going to manifest your twin flame if you actually go out there and try to meet new people. And this is, of course, my opinion. And I want to say this at the top. I've made it very clear before, but I want to make it clear in these videos. The twin flame as a concept, as a spiritual practice, is not something that resonates with me personally. Now, if it resonates with you, that's fantastic. This is not a video to try to get you to change how you feel about your twin flame. For me, it doesn't resonate. The idea doesn't feel like something I would ever want to dive deeper into as a spiritual concept. But if it works for you and it resonates with you, that is fine. This video is not about twin flames as a concept. It is about how Jeff and Shaleia are basically exploiting a spiritual concept to try to get you to follow them and spend your money. That is their main goal. The more that you listen to them, the more that you play into these concepts and believe in these concepts, the deeper you're going to get into this mindset, and the more that you're going to trust these two as leaders or gurus. And I'm going to say it again. If anyone claims to be a guru, like they themselves are naming themselves a guru, you got to run. You just got to run.
Mirroring is you see something in them, and it's actually because it's in you. Now, we've been through this a lot of times in our own union, in our own lives. We've been through this a lot of times with our clients and our students. Mirroring does exist, and it looks always like it's them who's doing the thing. And for the purposes of this video, we're going to talk about the mirroring the not so pleasant things. Because it's the not so pleasant things that people have trouble with, and that's what we want to help you with, is resolving those not so pleasant things. And when you resolve those not so pleasant things, it makes it a lot easier to have a harmonious union, come all the way into that place, and a more enjoyable life, actually.
Right.
Now, you may have heard the mirror exercise that we discuss, and it is available in our book, Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover. You can find it on Amazon. You can find the link in the box below.
They gotta pitch something, right? They can't just post their ideology on YouTube because not enough people would be attracted to it. So they have to sink their teeth into you and get you to buy something off of them so they can make income off of you believing that you can find your twin flame by buying into quite literally their concepts. That's the whole purpose of this video, is to sell you on something, whether it's a course or their book. If they really wanted to help you, they would just post stuff on YouTube. YouTube is a monetizable platform. It is my theory and my belief that they became money hungry. They saw a way to make money quickly and thus decided to create courses, much like a lot of new age practitioners. I have seen, because I used to be way more into new age spirituality than I am now, and there are certain aspects of it that still do resonate with me. So I have followed a lot of new age influencers, and so many of them start making these courses, these manifestation courses, these live your life purpose courses that are so unnecessary. And then they go and they say, I can teach you how to manifest 6 figures a year. I can teach you how to manifest 7, 8 figures a year. How I went from nothing to something. The way you did that was by telling people you manifested it and then selling a course on manifestation. And so basically you manifested all of this money by exploiting the spiritual belief that you can manifest money and then making a course. You didn't manifest it. you saw where people had a vulnerability, and very, very frequently people have a vulnerability around money, and you found a way to exploit that. And you've gained enough of a following talking about manifestation and making money and yada, 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 that now people trust you and believe you enough to buy this course that is always priced in some angel number to make it seem like it's a sign. And it's also always offered at a massive discount. Like, I'm talking, it'll be like, this is worth $499.99, but we're giving it to you for $499.99. Like, really? That was worth $5,000? That's worth more than a college course? Really? So if you are ever scrolling through Instagram or TikTok and you see some spiritual leader or spiritual guru or manifestation babe, I think there is that account on Instagram, and they're like, watch how I went from 5 figures a year to 7. It's like, all you're doing is selling this course to people that really want money. And look, there are aspects of manifestation that I can appreciate, but I'm not going to pay to learn how to think about what I want and make a vision board. Just don't do it.
The mirror exercise is not get in the mirror and say nice things to you.
No.
Well, it's kind of like that. It's really an opportunity for you to tap into the power of mirroring. And with your twin flame.
Okay, what is it? Is it like looking at myself and saying positive things, or is it not doing that? What? It's a tool? Like, decide. Like, I know I like to talk. That's why I have this channel, because I need someone to talk to about all of this stuff. I know I'm long-winded. I totally get that. But I hope that I offer something to you. I really hope that, like, you're gaining some type of understanding, learning, inspiration. I hope so. And maybe I'm the delusional one and you're watching this video like, what is she trying to say? But I feel like just say the point, like, make the point.
Is the most powerful mirror that you have in your experience, in your existence. Because they're the most like you. And they're the closest, physical being or person to you. So, of course, they're going to mirror the most to you simply by the most present.
Are they? Because what if you've never met them? And also, I don't want to date anyone like me. I need balance. I need someone who can calm me down when I'm acting out of pocket. And that's when, with my partner, I've definitely found that. If he was more like me, I don't think we would get along the way we do.
So, of course, they're going to mirror the most to you simply by the most presence in your experience.
Right.
And when you experience mirroring, it always is going to look like they're annoying you. They're upsetting you. They're doing this thing. They need to change.
I laughed at this when I first watched it because and I guess this isn't a way, I think it's, again, it's like a very common tactic is, yes, there are times where perhaps something that someone else is doing that bothers you, you might be like, oh, that's actually a quality I see in myself that I don't like in myself, and maybe I need to change. Best example I can share is I met a Capricorn once and we worked on a project together, and this person was so type A that I was like, I can't do this. Like, you are so aggravating to me. I need to work in my instincts more. I need to feel like this is more collaborative. You're basically calling all the shots. I don't like how you work. And to me, that meant, well, I don't like Capricorns. Then I got my chart read, and there's so many Capricorn placements on my chart. I was like, oh, it was probably because she was doing things in a way that I would prefer them a different way. And that was my Capricorn kind of coming out like, I don't like the way you do that. So I think there is something to say, but it's more so like reflection, right? And it doesn't mean that every negative quality you see in another person means that you have it in you. It is very normal for us to see qualities in other people and be turned off by them, not understand them, want to keep our distance from someone. That's called trusting your instincts when they start to flare up. Sometimes you have a gut feeling about someone, or you see a pattern of behavior and you're like, that's just not something I want to see in my life or have in my life. If I have a friend who talks poorly about her other friends, and they've done it over and over and over again, I've decided I don't want this person in my life. And it doesn't mean that means I love talking crap about my friends. It means I don't like talking crap about people. I only want to say stuff that I would say to their face. So when I hear you talking crap about people, it makes me worried that you're talking crap about me too. And I don't want that in my life. And I think that's a perfectly logical and normal way to look at relationships. It's okay to see a negative quality in someone else and that quality be enough for you to not necessarily want to engage in that person. Should you cut them off because they have a negative quality? No. But just because you observe a negative quality in another person, or they are making you feel bad, or they are making you feel less about yourself, that doesn't mean it's actually how you feel or how you behave or how you are. The mirror exercise is like, to me, a weaponized therapy speak. It's kind of just like self-reflecting and trying to understand why someone annoys you. Like, for example, my fiance will annoy me a lot, but typically I only find him more annoying when I'm already overwhelmed. It doesn't mean that like I'm annoying myself. It's me able to recognize like, oh, I haven't been giving myself enough time to recharge. So when my fiance comes in and wants to share a lot of information with me all at once, I feel more overwhelmed, and that's why it's annoying me. I don't want him to feel like he can't come share good information with me. I want him to feel like he can share everything with me. But if I'm like really overwhelmed, then I find it annoying if he's like, oh my gosh, I have to tell you this thing I saw. Da, 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 da. I'm like, oh, pump the brakes. It doesn't mean that I am also annoying, but it might mean, oh, I'm not taking care of myself enough. Maybe I should try to take a better care of myself.
Well, that's the power of the mirror. And the mirror exercise will help you identify these places where you're receiving mirroring and help you make a new choice within. Because the point of the mirror is that you can make a new choice within. Oh, but Jeff and Shaleia, let me just tell you that it's him, it's her, it's them, they're doing this thing. And we could talk about the mirror all day, but if you're not going to accept that this is the dynamic, you're not going to accept us as your teachers, you're going to invite our teaching into your life, well, go watch some other entertainment videos, because that's not what this is. And we may be very entertaining, but at the core...
Well, hey, at least they said, hey, go watch some other entertainment videos. I'll give them credit for that. But I love that, like, they're like, you have to accept that we are your teachers. You have to accept that this is the way. And you have to accept that that's how the other person is. Maybe in some aspects, like, it's not fair to be with someone and want to change them, but it's also not fair to be with someone who is potentially emotionally harming you, physically harming you, presenting very huge red flags. I feel like the mirror exercise is a gateway to allowing yourself to accept certain treatment that you might not otherwise accept. And that is not healthy in a romantic or any relationship dynamic. It's simply not healthy to just be like, oh, they treat me really poorly, but it must be because of something I've done. And I have to just accept that that's how it is. Or they're treating me like this because I'm not loving myself enough. So if I can be better and love myself more, then they'll be nicer to me. No. If someone is making you feel bad, or if someone is not giving what you're giving, you can leave. You can leave the relationship. We talked about this a lot in the estranged mothers video, who let me know if you'd like a follow-up on that, because she's continued to post videos that are interesting. So let me know if you'd want an update on that. But if someone is consistently making you feel bad, when you're around them, or giving you red flags, or making you feel uncomfortable, or trying to get you to push your own boundaries, you do not have to engage with them at all. You are never obligated to remain in a relationship with anyone, no matter how closely related you are to them. You have to protect yourself and your mental space first. And I think it's important to say that the mirror exercise totally eliminates healthy conflict resolution. There are certain situations that will require healthy conflict resolution. If every time my fiance did something that hurt me and I just mirrored it in myself and said, oh, well, he's doing it because I'm X, Y, and Z, or he's doing it because I'm actually doing that to him, or I always took responsibility for his actions, that's not healthy conflict resolution. Healthy conflict resolution would look more like, hey, when you do this, it makes me feel a certain way, and I am sure you didn't intend to make me feel that way, but is there any way that you could be more aware of this behavior? Or when you said this, it made me feel a certain way. It felt like you were trying to trigger me. And then you can have an open dialogue, but it is never one person. There are always two people involved. And that is if there's obviously not a power dynamic at play or an abusive dynamic at play, but the mirror exercise keeps people away from a healthy conflict resolution dynamic, in my opinion.
Or we're working to help you. We're working to help you resolve this issue in your life so you can manifest your harmonious union, which will very naturally and easily turn into perfect union.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is mirror?
Furthermore, they're both presenting themselves as, we're just trying to help. We're just trying to help. Like, it's okay if you want to go do something else, but like, we're the teachers. We're the ones trying to help you. And I think this like illusion of help makes people think like, oh, wow, well, they must really mean what they say. They're just trying to help, right? They're just trying to help. I don't buy it.
Mirroring is the dynamic, or the phenomenon, you can call it, of looking at something outside of yourself and, seeing yourself in it. And the truth is, that's all you'll ever see. Is the good in others is you. The bad in others is you. The obnoxious in others, it's definitely you.
Right. There's always going to be like a mirroring effect with all your relationships. You know, anything that upsets you, they're mirroring something. Even something that brings you joy and delight, it's mirroring.
We all know I disagree. I've exhausted that point in this video. I've already been talking for quite a long time. So I think we all know how I feel about that statement.
That own energy inside of you. But with your twin flame, it's just a little bit different in the sense that because you share the same soul blueprint, the mirroring between you two is going to be very exacting. Like, it's not like, a soulmate kind of mirror, where like a soulmate will mirror an upset to me. Yeah, okay, that's fine, that can be resolved. But a twin flame, the mirroring is like constant. Like Jeff and I never stop mirroring each other. All the good, the bad.
I don't like this pressure they're putting on. They make twin flames sound, which is a spiritual concept. Okay? It's just something you can choose to believe in if it resonates with you. But they're making it sound like it is the most important union you will ever have. So, if you meet someone and they are everything you've really ever wanted, you feel comfortable with them, happy with them, you mesh, things are going really well, but maybe it's not this like huge, big, overwhelming feeling, then it's not your twin flame, and then it's not a relationship that's worth discovering. You know, the way you feel about your partner at its core won't like change, but there are moments for me anyways where I will be like so enamored with, my fiance, so in love with my fiance. But when I first met my fiance, it wasn't this like insane, super like infatuating energy. Like it didn't feel like a crush. Like to me, I've had crushes in the past that were like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with this person. They're so amazing. I can't get them out of my head. And with my fiance, it all felt so just like comforting, like peace. He was just out of town for about a week, and when he came back, it just felt like a piece of me was back. I was whole, but it didn't overwhelm me. It just felt like, I'm at peace. And I think that when we find someone that feels more like peace, we don't think that it is as important or as serious because we might not be getting those like butterfly feelings of nervousness around them. But sometimes those butterfly feelings are just like your actual nervous system trying to say, is something wrong here? Is this the right person for me? You know? And I think that if I was prescribing to this twin flames concept when I met my fiance, I might have been less inclined to move forward with him because he just feels like peace to me. He wasn't like butterflies, and there were elements like when we first held hands, I felt that like excitement, or like when we first started talking and like really connecting, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like we have so much in common." There were elements of it, but it wasn't that like crush infatuation. And I think that if I was expecting that big of a feeling when I first met him, I wouldn't be where I am today marrying him 8 years later. And that's, of course, just my opinion. But I feel like this twin flames concept makes it feel like your experience of feeling that draw connection to someone is so intense. Like your twin flame is not your celebrity crush. I'm sorry. It's not. You can have a celebrity crush and be like, whoa, wow. But that's not your twin flame.
The happy, the sad, whatever you, the complacent, whatever you want to call it, like all the range of experiences and feelings and emotions. Now, it's not like, well, I walk around and I'm happy, and then, that means Jeff is happy, or I don't know, you know what I mean?
It goes
like,
deeper than that, right?
It's something much deeper. There's always an underlying current that is the same with us, and that is always being mirrored. Like at our core, we're always in the same space and place. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'm cranky and hey, he's fine, but that's not exactly a mirroring. Only if there's an upset, like if he's upset at me being cranky, well, okay, then there's clearly like a mirroring going on. But because we're twin flames, this mirroring effect is first thing ongoing, and secondly, very important to the union to utilize into harmonious union and then perfect union. And also, this is something that you cannot avoid if you're the type of person that prefers not to take personal responsibility for your life.
Why are you on this channel?
But you can't expect union, like a harmonious union, to occur for you because you're not willing to own up to your side of it.
You can take personal responsibility for your life without everything in your life being your fault. There are things that happen in life that you cannot predict, you cannot control, and it's unfair to use this kind of ideology to blame yourself for all of the things that happen in your life. It is not fair to yourself to do that.
The shit, the shit that's within you that your twin flame is mirroring. And so, of course, this concept comes up a lot with mirroring and twin flames, but it is something that is really important to address because it's very much real. It very much is the reason why you're in separation. If you are in separation or, even on the cusp of harmonious union, there's obviously something that's unresolved yet that your twin flame is mirroring. So yeah, like Jeff was saying, that's why we had the mirror exercise, that resolves all of this so that you can finally
If you haven't fallen in love, guys, it's your fault.
you, so that you can experience your whole self. You know, that's a huge aspect. The biggest piece of like twin flame union is accepting all of you. Like like Jeff and I, we accept all of us, and that's why we're in union together. We desire to experience like who we are as a whole, both individually and together as a unit. So, we're not running away from ourselves here, and that's why, we were gifted with the mirror exercise, and why we're also gifting that to you, so that you stop running away from yourself, love and embrace yourself, and subsequently come into your harmonious twin flame union and never have to experience separation again.
I just wonder what conflict looks like between these two. Like, I really wonder what that looks like. Because they're giving off the vibe that, like, well, they never argue because they never have to, because they're constantly mirroring each other and they're both so enlightened and aware of themselves that they never have to have conflict. But I just wonder, I just imagine it being like, well, if you're mad at me about that, then you're mad at yourself about that. Oh, yeah, well, if you're mad at me about being mad at myself about that, well, then you must be mad at me for being mad at myself about you being mad at yourself for then mirroring it in me. Well, I wouldn't be mirroring it in you if you weren't doing it to yourself. Oh, yeah, well, you wouldn't be recognizing it as a mirror within me if you weren't mirroring my mirror and then being the mirror to my... Are we in a fun house of mirrors? That's what this feels like. It sounds exhausting. It sounds exhausting.
That'll be like, a small laughing stock in your mind when you think of like, could I ever go into separation again? Like, it's such a funny concept. That's a concept in my mind now. Like, not being with Jeff and separation and shit, that's like not even in my consciousness. That's like a joke. It's like, like that's a concept now. Like, not even a good one. So, yeah, if you are someone that's desiring your twin flame union, please realize that this means you will have to be confronted
with a concept. People can definitely become separate, and we'll see soon how they encourage people to separate from spouses if they're not your twin flame. So this just feels like a super codependent relationship. It feels like they are promoting incredibly unhealthy relationship dynamics where both partners are very, very codependent on each other to the point where it's like, I can never separate from you because then I will be incomplete. So any red flag I see about you, I need to blame on myself. That means if I am being hurt in any way, I am stuck in this because it is my most perfect union, because that's what I am being told. Just date around, and you're gonna, it's important to date different people because then you learn the dynamic that you enjoy. And when you do get into, in my opinion, not that you're looking for relationship advice, but like in a long-term relationship, that's bound to change. It's bound to, we want each other to grow. I'm grateful that the times that my fiance has really changed and grown, or I've changed and grown, it feels like we either are finding ways to accept that in each other, or we're also kind of strangely making the same connections at the same time. And then we finally talk about it and we're like, oh, wow, I've been feeling the same way. We can grow together. And the thing is, too, like in a long-term relationship, things are going to happen and you're going to have to constantly make the intentional decision to keep choosing each other and keep trying to understand each other. But if you're just mirroring each other, then none of it makes any sense. You're just constantly both responsible for the same thing, which just feels strange to me.
Not even a good one. So,
such a fake laugh. I love you, Shaleia. You're my twin flame.
this mirroring within you. And even if it looks like from the outside that your twin flame, he's the motherfucker that's doing this to you.
He's mirroring that part within you, right?
That is you, you know, pissing yourself off, and you're the one that has to resolve it in order to clear the block.
Don't need to resolve what they say their upset is. You only need to resolve whatever you're feeling upset about within.
Right, right.
Use the mirror exercise. Use the mirror exercise. It's a powerful tool.
Right, and we talk, I know some of you are going to comment, oh, you know, where can I find the mirror exercise? Well,
in our book.
You can find it in our book. We devote a whole chapter to it. And in our runner.
But think about it. If that means that if your partner comes to you and says, hey, this is bothering me, you can look at them and be like, must be because of something you're doing. What? It's toxic.
Our chaser video, we touch on it.
We go through it, but you really need the book.
But the book really goes through detail to detail to detail about how to resolve.
A whole chapter? A whole chapter. Oh my gosh. In a book that you guys wrote? You donated a whole chapter to the mirroring exercise. One whole chapter. You really need the book because we devoted one whole chapter to the mirror exercise.
This permanently. So, I mean, I think that's really the mirroring effect in a nutshell.
It's simple and straightforward.
It's not really like this complicated, convoluted mess that you're going to like dive into and pull apart. Like, it's really that straightforward, guys. So, you know, and
the tools are simple. The science behind this is very simple.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so is it so simple that I can just do it, or do I like need the book and go buy the book to like do it? Which, if it's so easy, I can just probably like do it by myself without paying for anything, right? She's like, right. Wait, what science? What science? I'm noticing that every new age spiritual guru, they always bring up science. They always bring up that this is a science, and then they never discuss how it's a science. As if they say the buzzword science, and people will be like, they said it's science. It's not. It might be pseudoscience.
I think sometimes we complicate things so that we don't have to do it. There has to be more. Well,
yeah,
no.
Also, oh no.
You know, a chicken is a chicken, an egg is an egg. Like, here it is. I don't know. There's mirroring. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. Click like and subscribe.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on. This video is called, What If My Twin Flame is Married to Another?
Hi, I'm Shaleia.
And I'm Jeff.
And today we're talking about a very popular subject a lot of people have asking us about. What if my twin flame is married? Or, I guess, what if I met my twin flame and I'm married? Or, you know, that whole mumbo-jumbo mess of there's a spouse involved.
The mumbo-jumbo mess of you trying to get someone to cheat on their spouse with you. Such a mumbo-jumbo mess.
And they're not your twin flame, and you don't want to be with them, or they don't want to be with them, but you want to be with your twin, and your twin wants to be with you.
I wanted to cover this because they will say currently that they do not encourage people to break up another person's union. They'll say that in their forum. Someone will ask, I think my twin flame is married, and then a moderator will be like, we never condone breaking up a marriage or a family, you know. So, I don't know. We're going to see that as long as 7 years ago, they've been encouraging people to go after their twin flame, no matter who else it's going to potentially negatively affect.
Or la-di-da.
So I think that we should preface all this video by stating that we profoundly respect marriage. And we profoundly respect our marriage. And we also profoundly respect the twin flame union.
Yes.
I grew up and my parents were married. Shaleia grew up with married parents as well. Families were married.
Not really. Mine were half married.
They were married for a time, right? Anyway, so that we both grew up amongst the institution, among the institution of marriage, and we both desire and appreciate it. So with that being said, we also profoundly respect the twin flame union and see that as a much, much higher form of marriage.
Well, because that's true marriage. Because with your twin flame, you've been married in spirit, and you've been married in...
Did you hear that? Twin flame union is a much higher form of marriage. What does that imply? Because to me, it implies that if you're married or someone else is married and you find yourself interested in another, it's totally fine to just like break up that union or pursue your twin flame, even if you're already with someone else or they're already with someone else, which, in my opinion, is inappropriate and should be off limits. Do people marry who might not be right for each other? Do people get divorced? Yes, they do. Can people open up their marriage after time? Yes. But from this video, to me, it just sounds like they are condoning you going after your twin flame, no matter if you've already made a vow to someone. And to me, whether you're married or in a relationship and haven't gotten married, you have to honor the other person. You can't just have your head on a swivel trying to find someone else to be with because they might be your twin flame and they might be a more important union than whoever you decided to get married to. And I understand everyone is under a different set of circumstances, but in my opinion, if you are in a committed relationship with a person, you should not be pursuing other people. And if someone else is in a committed relationship, you should not be pursuing them. Just let them go and find someone who's not spoken for.
Spirit, since you were created together, you know, you're natural companions, and in many respects it's unnatural not to be with your twin flame. So when you start feeling this discomfort, like if you're in a marriage, you start feeling uncomfortable because you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you met your twin flame, well, it's time to start thinking about what that you met your twin flame.
But how do you know? You don't know. This is a common thing that I've seen over and over again. People think they've fallen in love with someone who is not their partner or not their spouse. They engage in an affair. They leave their partner or spouse. And then a few months later, a year later, that relationship just totally dissolves because it was more of like the thrill of something new and not like a real tangible relationship. So you just have to be very careful. If you're feeling like something is off in your relationship, in my opinion, best thing to do is if it's something that cannot be salvaged, you need to let that person go. If you're in a relationship, you just need to. You can't be like, well, I think I really like this other person, so I'm going to pursue them because it's probably my ultimate lover. No, that is like, can we have more regard for people who are not our twin flame? Like, this makes it feel like no one else should matter to you unless they are your twin flame. No other relationship should matter. No other circumstance should matter. No children should matter. No family should matter as long as you're with your twin flame. That is just an unkind way of thinking, in my opinion. Everyone is valuable. And we should honor each other and their relationships, and especially our own relationships. And I think that that is a fear a lot of us have. Like, I've had that fear, like, what if my fiance did meet someone else and felt like he was in love with them? I mean, it would break your heart. So that even being an option for you, just don't get involved with someone if you think someone else might be a better fit for you.
It really matters. And for many of you, there are children involved, or your twin flame has children, and you know this children are usually involved. And I would like to simply say that if the parents are happy, the children will be happy.
That's really it.
That's the truth of it. And a lot of times
it doesn't have to. I don't mean to cut you off. It doesn't have to look like the a certain way on the outside. The outside does not matter to
I love that he just goes, I'm going to cut you off. Not, oh, I'm sorry. Do you mind if I cut you off real quick? I just want to say this.
certain way on the outside. The outside does not matter to children.
Yeah.
It's how their parents feel on the inside that matters above all else.
Yes, children would rather come from a broken home than be in a broken.
The kids do not know. Okay, look, I did not have parents that were married. I came from a super broken home. There was turmoil constantly. There were custody battles constantly. Okay? And can I say that when I was a child that I was totally aware of all of the feelings my parents were having? No, because I was a child and I wasn't thinking deeply about what was going on in their minds. Could I see when my mother got upset and feel empathy for her or see her being frustrated? Yes, absolutely I saw that. But it was all of the things I was seeing on the outside, the dynamic between my parents that caused trauma for me. So to say, oh, just like it doesn't really matter if you leave your happy home and, leave your children, as long as they know that you're happy with your ultimate twin flame, they'll be happy. No, no, it can be very, very traumatic when a parent's leaving a home or parents are divorcing or splitting up. It can be really, really difficult. So, how dare you say, oh, it's only going to matter that you're happy? Of course, your children want you to be happy. But if they're truly children, and when I say children, I am thinking of younger, like under 10, not fully able to see that their parents or understand that their parent might be happier with another partner. Maybe by the time the kids are teenagers and they've seen some things and they recognize that it's going to be healthier for their parents to separate. Yeah, maybe you could use this argument, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy on the kid no matter how old they are. Even if they're above 18, it's just difficult when a family breaks apart for everyone who is in that family. It's heartbreaking. And I don't think we should be not taking any type of union as seriously. If someone is in a committed relationship with another person, that relationship should be taken seriously and honored, especially if both people are happy. And the thing is, you can't judge what's on the surface. There are plenty of people who seem really happy on the outside, and home is torturous for one of the people. So to imply that you can just pretend that everything's fine and your kids won't notice is wrong. It's the kids are going to understand what they see. And if you are separating from your partner, your children are going to see first, my mom is no longer with my dad, and they might blame themselves sometimes. So I feel like marriage is a very serious thing to do. I mean, that's why I've taken 8 years to decide to get married. It's a huge step. So to dishonor this massive step that two people are taking to create a family and be like, I'm just going to undermine that because I might fall in love with someone else later. No, sorry.
Broken home. And when you're coming into union with your twin flame and you're bringing your children or merging two families together as one, I can guarantee it's going to be.
And I want to follow this up with saying too, yes, if you're in a situation that you really truly feel like you need to get out of it, yes, it is always better for children, in my opinion, to deal with their families separating than deal with a home that is unstable. Say if like there's an abusive dynamic at play within the home, it would be my opinion that yes, having the adults separate and have the children not experience that abuse or witness it is going to be better. But I don't think it's okay to be like, oh, you have a crush on someone who's not your husband? You should just go date him. Like, your kids will be fine. They just want you to be happy. I mean, I know they're 2 and 4, but like, they're going to be fine. Come on.
Wonderful, because you and your twin flame are meant to be. You're happy, you're in love. Hopefully it's a harmonious union. That's what we teach, and we have courses on that. And so it's naturally going to benefit the family. Anything that you do for love, everyone wins. Win, 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 win. So I guess pretty much in a nutshell, if you're married or your twin is married and you desire to be together, I say you have to go for it. You can't live an unlived life. You can't walk on this planet knowing that your twin flame is walking on the planet too and you're not together. And I think it's also selfish to not free that non-twin flame spouse to their own twin flame union, or at least to a more harmonious partnership that would be most beneficial for them.
How convenient. I'm not trying to have an affair with your husband for my own benefit. I want to set you free. I want to set you free, but I want to fuck your husband. What?
Which will naturally benefit the children if there are children involved.
So we've personally worked with many twin flames who have been in marriages or whose twin flame has been in marriages.
Yeah.
And the marriage falls apart effortlessly when it's not with your twin flame and you're choosing your ultimate lover.
Yeah.
It's not a hard, horrible divorce. It's an easy, simple thing for everyone involved. And it's positive for everyone involved. The dissolution of the marriage...
For who, though? Are you inviting the person who might be heartbroken into your little Zoom meeting to talk about how you're going to be separating? Like, if my fiance came to me and said, hey, I don't want to get married, I love someone else, and I think it's going to be the best for both of us, and I want to release you to go find your ultimate lover, I would be shocked. And the only way it would be like a peaceful separation is because I'm so heartbroken that I can't put up a fight. That's how it would be for me. Everyone's different, but like, I would be mortified. I would be traumatized for years. So to say it's better for everybody, maybe after years of healing, as someone who has been cheated on before, I can tell you it takes years to heal from someone's infidelity. Years. And I don't care if they are just sleeping with someone or actually in love with them. Like, it hurts either way. Does it hurt more when you find out they're in love with someone else? Probably. But just the fact that someone cheated or wants to be with someone else, whether they're cheating emotionally or physically, it hurts. Just leave the person. If you really start thinking that you want to be with someone who is not your current partner, just leave that partner. That's how you can set them free without making them feel terrible about themselves. And the thing about a long-term relationship is you have to choose each other over and over and over and over again, because neither of you are blind. You're going to meet a ton of other people. But the more real I am about that point with myself, knowing that my fiance is going to see other attractive people and I'm going to see other attractive people, but at the end of the day, I know I will choose him every time because I love him and he's my partner. And I also trust that he will always choose me. We've built that foundation. And if someone were to come in between that, it would be utterly heartbreaking. It would not mean, oh, okay, babe, go off and be in love with this other woman. Thank you so much. Bye. Yeah, I'll move out. It's not traumatizing at all. I'm fine. No, this is delusional. And it has no regard for the other person. It's set them free. Screw you. First, it's like, seriously, get out of here. Have a little respect for the human experience. Have a little respect for the people that don't prescribe to whatever BS you're shilling. Like, this is rude. This is mean-spirited. This is not enlightened. This is selfish. Go do whatever you want to do, because if it's for love, it means it's worth it and you don't have to worry about who you hurt along the way.
Marriage is no small thing. But if you're doing it for spirit, for higher love, then it's easy.
And it's supported, and that's why it's easy, because it's absolutely supported.
Now, you don't have to worry about whether your twin...
And that's why...
Okay, so what if I thought Jeff was my twin flame and I tried to come in between you and Shaleia? What if you were my twin flame, Jeff? What if I really believed that? And I did everything I could. I figured out where you lived and I showed up at your house and I knocked on the door and I wouldn't leave and I just wanted to be with you. Like, I have to be with you because you're my twin flame. Would that be okay? Like, would Shaleia be okay with that? Doubt it.
flame is married or not. Because as you're choosing your ultimate lover, that's your partner. That's not anyone else's partner. So you don't have to share them with anyone, or you don't have to wait until they finish with their other person. You need to simply choose your ultimate lover. If you're waiting on your twin flame, it's an illusion. You're simply waiting on yourself. It's never ever about them.
Yeah.
It's never about them.
Yes.
So dissolve.
See, they don't care. They don't care if someone's in a relationship already. I'm getting heated. Whoo, I'm trying to stay grounded, but this makes me angry. Okay. And just to remind everybody, they will say to this day that they never said stuff like this. But they did. They did. It was one of their earliest teachings, was to not care if your twin flame was already with somebody else. Have respect. If you love someone who's in another relationship, have respect for that relationship. Don't try to wedge yourself in it.
That marriage. Don't worry about that spouse.
Yeah.
If your heart's true calling is your twin flame, there's nothing that can stand between the two of you. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Only love is real, and love never fails.
And I just want to mention too that if you are unmarried or in the process of divorce and you met your twin flame and they're still married, I believe that it would be out of integrity to not make yourself known or make moves, like Jeff and I are saying. Of course we respect and honor the agreement of marriage, but to us the twin flame union trumps a marriage that is not the agreement of marriage.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because those two people at one point believed that they were in love enough to make a lifelong commitment to each other. To me, that would mean that they believed at one point that they were twin flames. So to disrespect that union because you have a little hunch that that's your twin flame, that is messed up. That's messed up. So don't claim that you don't encourage people to pursue their twin flame at all costs, at all risks, because you do. And I have the evidence right here to prove it. And I bet you anything there's a recording somewhere of Jeff telling people to disobey their restraining orders. If someone is getting a restraining order against you because you're so persistent telling someone that they're your twin flame, they don't want anything to do with you.
Not with your twin flame. So that's why I also encourage to pursue your twin flame no matter what the outside appearances look like, and trust that it's fully supported by heaven because you've been choosing your twin flame and your ultimate lover all the way along, and spirit's guiding you here now. You're at this point in your life now with your twin flame. And so a lot of the blocks and barriers to your twin flame union are the blocks and barriers that you are experiencing inside of yourself. And this is why we've created our 2 courses, Twin Flames Dreams Coming True and Twin Flames Romance Attraction. The first few lessons are free on most of them. So you can kind of understand how
Gotta sell a course. Gotta sell a course, because I guess people aren't flooding to watch you sit on a couch with buzzy audio as I sit on a couch recording a video. But hey, at least I can admit when I'm being slightly hypocritical, but I hope that my quality is a little bit better. And I hope that I'm actually offering something to you. Hopefully.
The first few lessons are free on most of them.
See, I would never offer you guys a course. How to tell that a cult that's been called out for being a cult is a cult. That would be ridiculous of me. Oh, Lord.
Oh, you can start to maneuver yourself in a positive and harmonious direction to your twin flame union in a way that is in integrity with yourself and with your union.
Very good.
Very good. So
What did she just say? She did throw integrity out there, which is hilarious because I feel like they both lack it.
very good. So I think we.
It's just, you can tell she like needs his approval, you know? Did I say something good? Because they're codependent. Because
So I think we may have answered this subject on twin flames and marriage. I think that as soon as people begin to really start choosing their hearts and following their hearts, the way is made, you know. And like I said about the children, don't have to worry. Children would rather come from a broken home than be in one. And when you bring them into a roof where there is a twin flame union and a harmonious twin flame union, you're also teaching them about great love, and you're teaching them about twin flames, whether you literally say it or not to them, and make them aware of the concept. But the fact is that you're now holding a new bar for them, and a new program for them in choosing their marriage, their life.
program your children to believe what we believe because we believe it and we're sharing it. And since we say it and we're connected to source energy and Jeff is God, that means that you need to listen to us. You should definitely break up a marriage and don't give a fuck about them kids.
Partner, and that it should be their twin flame. I mean, that's just the most obvious choice to me. So, I guess that's everything that we want to talk about on marriage. If you have any questions, you can put it in the, you can comment in the box below. But in all honesty and truth, I know we've got a lot of...
All right. This is a long video, but I think we have time for one more. Okay, so this video is called Identify Your Twin Flame with 100% Accuracy. The Twin Flame Love List. And we may or may not get through this entire video. We probably won't. It's 16 minutes long, and your girl likes to talk, as you've noticed watching this long-ass video. So we are gonna just go ahead and start it off. I don't know how much we'll watch. Let me make a little guess. They're gonna be like, make a list of all the qualities that you want in a partner, and if you meet someone with all those qualities, that automatically makes them your twin flame. And listen, I've done this before, and I found someone and I dated them for 8 months. And then from that relationship, so many things on that list changed because I was like, nope, nope, nope. I don't even care about that. Like, that is not a priority for me because he ended up being nothing like I expected. And then when I met David, I had no list. I just had like, I want to be treated well. I want them to be a kind person. I want them to be nice to other people. I want them to be funny. It was very like more based around how I want our dynamic to be and not an exact list of all the qualities I expected them to have, because I knew by that point the type of relationship I wanted to have instead of the exact type of person I want to be with. And then and it ended up that he filled he's everything that I could have listed and more. There are qualities that I never even thought I would need that he brings, that I'm like, "Oh, wow, I would never have thought I needed this, but I really need this." You know what I mean? And that it changes over the last 8 years. That has transformed and changed, and I see more and more wonderful qualities where I'm like, "Wow, I'm so glad he's like this. Wow, I'm so glad he's like this. Like, I hope I can be something for him," you know? Anyways, let's get into this. I'm just sharing parts, like anecdotes from my life, to hopefully get someone to understand if they're prescribing to this ideology, that you don't have to think of it as your ultimate twin flame lover and they have to be like this, this, and this, and this. It can be an easier experience. It can be a more enjoyable, more peaceful, more loving, more accepting experience, more honorable experience filled with actual integrity.
And today we're going to talk about the Twin Flame Love List. And this is one of the most powerful tools that we can equip you with for manifesting your twin flame and identifying your twin flame as well.
Oh yeah, this is an essential piece of information to have.
Now, if you don't have us to channel for you and see, okay, yeah, this is obviously your twin flame, or, you know, someone who's in their harmonious twin flame union, or knows their twin flame, or is in union to identify, hey, you know, that's, you know, I know this vibration, that's your twin flame, or not.
Right.
This will help you tremendously. This gives you scientific data provided right from the source
Right.
to determine.
He brings up science again. He already mentioned that he can channel your twin flame for you, and he points to himself being the source, which, if you're a spiritual person into New Age, source, from my understanding and belief of it, is basically what one might call God. So he's pointing to himself, saying source. This was 7 years ago. He was already 6 years ago, rather. This was 6 years ago, and he's already starting to put into people's heads very, very subtly that he is source. He is a spiritual authority. He can channel your twin flame union. Everything he says is something that you need to follow if you want to find your twin flame. As much as both of them want to deny it, they have been pushing out this ideology that they are the spiritual authorities on twin flames since the beginning, I would argue. And when we talk about how people get into cults and how it can't be a cult if it's online, and people like to victim shame and victim blame, this is what did you see how subtle that moment was? He gave us 3 really important pieces of information that he's using to indoctrinate someone or indoctrinate his audience into believing that he is a spiritual authority, he is connected to source, and he has the secret to you getting this thing that you want. It doesn't look like chanting and hypnotism and neuro-linguistic practices, neuro-linguistic programming. It doesn't always look like that. It is tiny moments spread out and repeated over time. And that is how you slowly, slowly, slowly get deeper and deeper and deeper into a cult. This is how it happens. This is the gateway. And if you're listening to them over and over and over and over, you're gonna basically reprogram yourself. You're going to start believing the things that they're saying because you're listening to it, you're hearing it. Him giving out these tiny little moments, referring to himself and pointing as source. He's already planting the seed that he is God. He is source energy. He has a connection to something higher. He can tell you who your twin flame is. He is someone you can trust. he is God eventually, / God's brother, whatever he likes to say it, however he likes to twist it. He was saying this stuff as far as 6 years ago. So if that is not enough to convince you that these two are cult leaders, they're codependent, and they are promoting really, really dangerous codependent relationships and pumping out a lot of, they're twisting ideologies to make it fit for them. They're twisting concepts that we all know and exploiting them to pinpoint people's vulnerabilities and desires and needs so that people will pay them to offer more coaching. That's what they're doing. And that's all I wanted to share on that video, because it's basically just talking about creating a list of your perfect ideal lover, and it goes on and on and on and doesn't really get to a real point. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and finish this video here. I want to say thank you again so much for joining me today. We have some brand new cult deep dives. I'm going to be looking into Teal Swan and figuring out, is she running a cult? Is she not? That's the big question on everyone's mind when it comes to Teal. And I've been diving really deep into Bettino Massaro, who is like my age and thinks he's the highest vibrating being on the planet. There are just so many to count. As always, leave your suggestions down below, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Debunking the Delusion. I will see you next week with a brand new lineup of new cults, new deep dives, new episodes of Debunking the Delusion. Thank you so much for being here today. I really, really appreciate your support, and just please be safe out there. Protect yourself, stay skeptical, and always ask questions. Until next time, y'all. Thank you. Bye.